Divine greetings, beautiful royal fruit family. How are you all doing today? I am Queen Aline. I'm your host, and I'm super excited today because today is day one of a 30-day honeydew mono fruit challenge. Inspired by my amazing friend, King Matthew Pierce, who just did 35 days. Can you believe it? 35 days eating only honeydew melon. I was like, what? How and what? And today he's come on to share with us about his experience and what motivated him to do 35 days on one fruit alone and to dispel a lot of fears that we may have around eating fruit, around eating one type of fruit. As we can see, he is alive and healthy and well and vibrant, and he's been telling us all the benefits of eating this way. So I'm sure a lot of you might have some questions. So please feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will definitely, ask him the questions that you are asking because this is so fascinating. I love to see somebody really taking on such a challenge and really empowering themselves and doing it long term, and like really sticking to it. I think that's so admirable, and you're inspiring us all. We are many of us doing this new honeydew challenge, and it's not like you came off and ate all kinds of craziness. You came off for a few days to eat some citrus, and now you're coming back to the honeydew. So, without further ado, thank you so much, King Matthew. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to this lifestyle, and let's start with that. What inspired you to start fruiting up?
Thank you, Aline. First of all, thank you so much for having me today. I'm real excited. And first and foremost, I just want to say, like, for anybody who hasn't dove into the fruitarian lifestyle or just eating more fruits in general, I think it's just very important that you understand that fruit is really just, I think, man's natural food. And the more you eat it, the more you understand that. Like you feel it, you feel more at one with nature. You feel more just yourself. You feel more alive as a person and connected to everything around you. And you get further away from a lot of other things that may distract you. Your addictions. Other things that might just get in your head are just kind of wiped away when you eat a lot more fruits. And in saying that, I started eating all fruits in October, specifically October 1st of last year. And I came to that decision actually because of one of two things. The week before, I was actually blessed enough to go to the Bahamas for my best friend's wedding. And the month before that, I was full plant-based. And I had never done a full month of just plant-based eating before, and it was really good. And I went to the Bahamas and I started eating, whatever again. Like, I was there celebrating the wedding. I still didn't eat meat, but I mean, fish counts as meat. But I was a pescatarian for many years, so I just started eating fish again. And I didn't feel bad, but I felt worse. Like a lot worse, because I was always pretty healthy, but it was just a stark difference. And, like a night and day difference almost. Like I would wake up, fatigued. I wouldn't wake up like ready to go. Um, and after I got back from that trip, I actually experienced, really bad bouts of like just bad bowel movements and I don't know, just a lot of internal discomfort. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. So for about a week, I did one meal a day of grapes. And then for the rest of the month, I just kind of did mostly grapes, but like whatever fruit. And then from then on, I just took off with it and kept it going. And then come January, I had shared a little transformation post on my Facebook, and I wasn't going to at first because I'm not really a person who likes to use social media for sharing or like any any social media actually really. But I just kind of said, it's not really about me. I want to inspire other people the way I was inspired to change my life. And if I can even show that to a couple people, or a couple people can get inspired to take care of themselves, or just anything, I wanted that to be the thing. And a whole bunch of people messaged me back, and I've been helping certain people since then. And it just got me more comfortable with sharing. And I was eating honeydew every day to break my fast for basically since I got off all grapes. And because watermelon's over, right? And personally, I don't like non. I'm not a seeded dude, but like I just prefer seeded watermelon, and I don't necessarily want to do stuff that's not seeded watermelon. So that's why I went to honeydew, because honeydew is my second favorite anyway. And then one day I had bought a bunch of grapes and some honeydews, and I had the honeydew to break my fast. And I was like, damn, I just kind of want another one of those. I don't even want the grapes. So I did it for one day, 2 days, 3 days, and I said, I'm just gonna do it for a week. And after I did it for a week, I kept seeing more and more people doing stuff with honeydews, like juicing them, just getting them. And I was like, you know what? That's confirmation for me to keep doing it. So I just said I'm gonna do, as many days as I feel like, and that's how we got to today. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, it's good. So you hadn't intended originally to go so long. You were just kind of like taking it and seeing how it went. Like, let's try it for a day and then a week. And then it kind of like you started feeling really good and you got confirmation to keep on going. So that's how you continued so long.
Yeah, it was cool because back in summer, I had done the watermelon. So before I even really knew about Bobby like that, I knew he was up on the watermelon, right? But I didn't know he had like the groups where you got a whole bunch of people doing watermelon. I didn't know about the washout and all that. I actually saw a video by this guy, Cali Muscle, and he was a bodybuilder, YouTuber, and he had a heart attack. And he said, screw that, I'm gonna change my life and just fast 30 days on watermelon. So I got to about the fifth day when it was the first time I saw that happen. I was like, damn, if he could do that, I could do it. So I could do, and then I did it for 14 days with him. Where I just like followed his videos and did it. And that was kind of like the motivation I had to keep doing it. And I felt so good, and was pretty upset when I couldn't get any more. Because it was just the 14 days I could get it. That's as much as I got. So I told myself, like, that's stupid. Like, people say it's not in season, it's winter time. Who cares? I was like, I can just do this with honeydew. It's like the same thing for me, at least, because I love it. And it's still a melon. So I'm like, it's melon season in winter time, I guess. And I felt so amazing after like day 10 on the honeydew. Like, something in my brain was kind of like, dude, are you getting addicted to this? But I was like, you can't get addicted to this stuff. But I was feeling so good. It was just like the high of being, an addict. Like, you know what I'm saying? It felt that good. And after the 35th day, the 30th day, that's when I got gifted the oranges. And I, was saying like, okay, maybe that's like a sign for me to take a break. But I didn't really want to take a break. And I just kind of did because they were there. And I didn't want to, waste a gift. You know what I mean?
A lot of them.
Yeah. So, so for those who don't know, it was like 6 boxes, and I'm talking about like real, really beautifully delicious organic oranges. They were so good, and I did that for 3 days. And truth be told, not only did I the first day was great, but truth be told, on the second day, I really missed my melon. I really missed the honeydew, and just decided to keep going. But the third day, I was constipated. And I think I had talked to somebody about it, and I think it was because I was on high watermelons for so long that just like the sudden switch of like the bulk of oranges, because I was doing like 13 oranges and then like a grapefruit or two with it, because we got grapefruits as well. And I just didn't feel as um, just energetic. Like I felt really good still. Like no, in no means I feel bad. It was just I could tell it was a heaviness, and I just think that that was my body's way of telling me like, nah, man, you got to keep doing these melons because that's what you wanted to do in the beginning. Like you wanted to keep it going. And originally, I probably would have been on day what now, like 40 something if I didn't stop. But that's why we're doing this again, and I'm beyond excited.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that. And, it's really interesting because um, years ago, when I started first hearing about breatharianism, I just want to explain a little bit why we feel so good on the melons, particularly. It's because it's like the lightest food that we could possibly be eating. It's like the closest thing to breatharianism, right? It's like the breatharians might have some melons here and there. And I remember that my first breatharian teacher was Taylor Budd, Tao Lori. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but he's really cool to follow. And and yeah, and he says like basically I'll just eat melons here and there, but most of the time I don't eat. I was like, what do you mean you don't eat? Said, no, I don't eat. Like I just some days I do, some days I don't. But if I do eat, I'll only eat melons. And that always stayed with me in the sense of like out of the fruit kingdom, the lightest fruit I could possibly eat, and the one that digests the fastest too, right? It goes hand in hand. So it's the one that moves through the body the fastest, the highest water content, possibly the less fiber as well. So it's like the closest thing to a juice cleanse as well that somebody could do. If somebody cannot do a juice cleanse, go on melons. If you don't have a juicer, like get on a melon cleanse, and that will be like super powerful for you. And it will feel a similar effect than being on a juice cleanse, right? Because it's so easy to digest. You're barely digesting anything. It doesn't even have to go through the pancreas or nothing. Like it just digests, at the level of like, like right here. So it's like the easiest to help you to detox. It helps the body to cleanse itself and to get like mental clarity. So I definitely recommend that. And I've only gone, I've never done honeydew, but I definitely did the 14 days on watermelon. And I remember how high I felt. I was like, I'm floating. It felt like, and it was a sustainable high. Like I was having vivid dreams. Like everything was so clear and I was so focused. And me too, I wonder why I came off, but sometimes we need some grounding. We need to experiment with different things too. But it's amazing to have those experiences under our belt to be able to talk about them and also see what's possible. Somebody could go 14 days on watermelon, like you're going to start feeling empowered. You're going to start seeing how incredibly powerful you are. And what else can you do in your life, right? Like what else can you manifest? What else can you rise above, whether that's difficult emotions or you know, like stepping into like the career of your dreams or taking on an art class. Like you discover this courage inside of you that I'm sure you're discovering too. Like even this is an act of courage, to come on live like this. This is Matthew's first live, everybody, and I'm so honored that I'm the one to host him, the first time. And he wasn't on social media for many years. Like he's just come on really to encourage, to inspire, and to help others. And we really do see that transpire in our community. The Fruit Up with Herbs challenge right now that we're doing, like you're so there, you're so loving, you're so supportive of everybody. And I know that's a direct like you've probably from the fruits, you've really felt this duty, this sacred responsibility to be a guide and to shine your light on others, and that is very felt in our community and beyond. And this is like one individual, you are creating such a beautiful like ripple effect throughout the whole world. Like look, we've started becoming friends. Like you're inspiring so many people through your own, Rawvolution is what I like to call it. The Rawvolution with the raw foods. It's like you go through this metamorphosis from the
Yeah.
caterpillar to this beautiful butterfly, and then you're like, okay, like who needs help? What am I like? I know what I'm here for. Like who needs me? And you become a magnet for beautiful connections and like this synergy that's happening, and it's just so magical. Like our fruity fam is absolutely magical. Yes. So thank you so much for taking that leap. And 5 months on fruit, everybody. Like, what does your family think of this? Like, you're so young too, I don't know if you want to talk about your age, but you're so young to have awakened to this and to have come, online with the fruitarian lifestyle. A lot of people wait till they're like later on and they've had so many health problems. And like, was there any health problems that you were dealing with, or like what got this started, and what does your family think? Sorry, that's two questions, but
Oh yeah, good. Those are good questions because I think those are two of the biggest points of importance for this whole thing. First off, the one thing I just want to say is I thank you for everything you just said because the positivity definitely comes from this. You know, like always thought I was a positive person, right? Like, come on, exactly, right? Just look at this. It makes me so happy. Just repping like that.
we said we'd be eating, so let's eat.
Really. And so the thing is, so just yesterday actually, over the past, couple weeks, really just since the beginning of the year, in terms of me stepping out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, like you were talking about, I also wanted to detach myself from old things that I was. Like yesterday, I was literally going through my phone and looking at all the old pictures in it, and I was like, I would only be smiling when I was out, like, or when like something would be going on, but then every time I was home or every time I was by myself, it was always like, not even like just like I'll take a picture and just not smile all the time, but like I was never smiling. Like I smile all the time now. And the happiness just kind of naturally comes out of you when you feed yourself the right way. And so I'm gonna segue that into my family, right? So the biggest hurdle I have is because I recently moved out of my apartment because of a back injury, and this was around May last year. I haven't fully recovered from it, but as you know, like I'm exercising, I do a lot of yoga and a lot of things. I basically did back rehab on myself because I used to have a physical therapist who used to like put me through a lot of things, and I went from not being able to stand up or sit down without extreme excruciating pain to now fast forward almost a year later, and I can go on walks. I can't run or jump like that yet, but that's why I got a little trampoline. Like, but like in saying this, the fruits have been working magic on me, and being able to say I have healed myself with this diet and gotten rid of migraines, constipation, bloating that was a thing that I dealt with my whole life, like my whole life. Like I had the worst migraines ever for years. I would get like 3-day migraines. Just couldn't talk to anybody. Had to shut the blinds, turn the lights off. I couldn't speak to people. Bloating like I was pregnant every time I ate. Almost anything. I would just go from, I'm not a big guy, so I have a smaller, skinnier frame, but I would just get like pregnant bloated, and it was so uncomfortable and weird, and I never knew what. Like even when I was eating healthy, like I would eat healthy. So every single day last year for lunch, I would eat like I was a pescatarian, so I would do like fish or shrimp and like vegetables and sweet potatoes. You know what I mean? That was like the staples of my diet, and every single day I was just bloated so bad. And so none of that anymore. I'm regularly using the bathroom like twice a day or more. Like I don't even drink water just because I hydrate with this. It's amazing. And I say this because my mother is a very paranoid soul. Let's just say that. Um, and she constantly is worried about all this. And I tell her all of the things that used to ail me don't anymore. Like my spirit, you can tell, even you have told me, is lighter, is like lifted. You know what I mean? And you see how happy I am on a day to day. You see how I can move around now. You see the love and passion that radiates from me. And I am not, spitting up mucus. I don't know when the last time I sneezed is or coughed or anything, and I say all these things, but she's like, yeah, but, and I'm like, no, not yeah, but I am literally, and so I'm at this point where I'm going to respect her decisions about what she thinks. but I will continue to be an example why living this way is perfectly beneficial for anybody to do. And like you said, I'm only 25. And the other thing that really pushed me and propelled me to do this was my grandmother. She recently passed away a couple of days before Christmas. Mm. Yeah, and that was pretty harsh on all of us. She was one of my closest people in my life, and she practically took care of me until I was like 2, because my parents worked all the time, day and night. And so we were, beyond like this. And so she's had 4 cancers, and her last bout with cancer was started in July of last year. And the reason I went plant-based in August is because when we found out in July, I knew that, a lot of things were going to change. And so we are where my mom's side, we come from a Southern family, right? So, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. And so, what type of food we get down with. And I knew she wasn't going to be able to eat that stuff anymore after her diagnosis. So what I did is I did some research, and I bought a vegan plant-based cookbook so I could make recipes with my mother, so we could all eat them together and show her that you can still get the flavors with not having the same, stuff that's making her not right. So we did. And the first thing we made was like a really nice jambalaya and some fried green tomatoes. It was fantastic. It was real good. Everyone sat together and enjoyed it. Yeah. And, from there, I thought that was a good stepping point, but it just didn't end up working out that way. And, we were with my uncle at the time as well. He had come down from Baton Rouge to be with us to help, because it was hard for her, and we all needed to kind of have all hands on deck to help with that. And, it just, for me, like you said, it really woke me up, because I really didn't want to have to ever get to that point or anything close to it. Because in helping her, I saw how much it hurt her to be in pain. And I also saw how much it was taking a toll on my family. You know what I mean? For one, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I can't be in control of my own decisions. 1. 2, I don't want to ever put my family in that situation. And 3, I just want to feel good all the time. Like, I don't want these ailments to happen to her or anybody in my family or myself or anybody that I care about. And I feel like it's just of the utmost importance if it takes a little bit more money to buy fruit, or if it takes a little bit more of sacrificing things that you love, your pleasure senses, your taste, like what you think you need, but is like, someone said this one time. I think it was like when I was really researching all this stuff, Misfit Vegan, I don't know if you know her. Yeah. She was saying, like, I don't believe in moderation, because moderation will fuck with you. And like, in saying that, like, yeah, like, if I had a sweet potato in moderation, okay. But guess what? I love sweet potato, and that's crack for me. And I don't know what it could possibly do to my psyche. I don't know if it'll make me go off the wall, or like, what I mean? And not saying that I crave a sweet potato all the time, or I won't have one in the future, but I don't mind not having it. Like, I don't even think about it really. Like, I could think about it in the sense of like, oh, a sweet potato could be cool right now, but this takes care of all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff goes out the window. It becomes so easy, so simple. And, it's just, people say this all the time. You can do your best to explain it, but you will never understand unless you let it do it long enough to make it work its magic and feel it. And that's it. Like, you can't expect a result to see a result if you've never like done the work to see that result. And that's just the case. Like, and people will think it's crazy. People will think, but what I think what this does is wakes you up, because now I see everything I used to do as crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you're eating what? you're eating that? Like, that's, to me, that's but I'm never going to tell someone how to live. I'm just going to shut up, do my thing, and let the example speak for itself. And that's it.
Amen. Amen. And my heart goes out to you for losing your grandma. I'm so sorry. It's so hard to go through that and to lose somebody that we care about and to see them suffer. And it's just like so heartbreaking. And at the same time, like that's that was your like like such a marking moment in your life, because it was so traumatic to lose her, and it's like it brought you to your knees, and it brought you to this place of deep surrender, this place of like awakening as well, to be like, okay, well, I don't want to go down that same road, and that's what we talk about when we talk about breaking generational trauma and curses. I don't know if you want to use the word curses, but like habits and just like traditions. Like we're here to break that, and to set a new standard for ourselves, for our children, for all the future generations too. Like we're here to break the mold. And unfortunately, it takes those traumatic moments to wake us up, to really like slap us in the face and be like, okay, like
Right.
redirect, and it's like crossroad in your life, and look at you now, and also like, our parents, they may never understand what we are doing. Some might and some may not, but that's why it's so important to come on like this, and to have these conversations, to have these groups, to connect with others who are on this path, because there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of conditioning, there is a lot of programming. Even me, like having been plant-based for like I knew about raw veganism at the beginning of my journey, but I was so afraid that I was going to miss something in my diet. So I always had protein. I always made sure I had the sprouted lentils and the this and the that and the seeds and the nuts. But I relate to a lot of what you were saying. It was all making me bloat. Even as a raw vegan, I was still like experiencing a lot of bloating, and they were like, oh, it's the parasites and it's this and it's that. But like the deeper I go, the more I'm like, maybe we're not meant to be eating those things. Some
Yeah.
people could digest them, some people have no issues. They just do. They just have a better, maybe stronger hydrochloric acid in their stomach. Like, I don't think, but some of us are very, very sensitive. And the fruit path is like calling us, and some people could do really great with mostly fruit and then doing like some cooked whole food plant-based. Like, that's amazing. But then, some of us realize that it creates a lot of problems. And so, we get called to this like fruit path, and we see that it's the best we feel. And I love what you're saying about like, it doesn't matter what people say, like, unless you've had that experience in yourself, like, you will never know how good it feels. And just a little disclaimer for those who are new to this, you may feel worse before you get better, right? Like there's like the detox
Yeah.
too. So don't give up if you start eating a lot of fruit. Fruit is very, very detoxifying. It's very astringent. It'll pull out mucus. It'll pull out all the toxins. So you may start breaking out. You may, have headaches. You may even feel nauseous, tired. Like there may be things that happen. But just trust the process. You may get a fever, a cold, not to scare anybody, but just to let you know the reality of it, and to help your mind understand what's happening, so that you can get to the other side and you don't give up and be like, oh, this isn't working. Let me even going plant-based, some people don't feel good at first, right? When they're giving up the meat and the cheese and all that, your body may be like craving it, but parasites are real, and they want to wreak havoc on you, and they want to control your mind, and they want to like make you go eat those Cheetos and go get the burger. But hey, if it's not growing on a tree, it's not meant to be. Like if it's not growing on a tree, it's not for you or me. Like, you don't see Snickers bars growing on trees. You don't see French fries growing on trees. Like, look to nature. Always go back to nature and look to what we've been naturally inclined to be eating. Even in nature, like if you put a cow in front of a child, or a banana or an apple, what do you think the kid is going to eat? He's not going to be like, oh, let me go kill the cow and cook it and go eat it. Like, it's just not in our nature to do that. So we are frugivores by nature, and it's a beautiful thing to realize that. And it may be quite a journey in order to get there. And you may need to do like fruit till 5, and then have a plant-based meal in the evening time, but start replacing like certain meals throughout the day with fruit, and you start seeing like big improvements in your health, better digestion, everything. And if you want to jump on a challenge, like please join us. Today we're starting, well, I'm doing 30 days. I don't know what everybody else is doing. It's a bit of an unofficial challenge within the challenge. So I decided to do 30. So anybody who wants to join, please let us know. And yeah, it'd be super fun to have you come on board. Do you know how long you're going, or are you just going to take it one day at a time?
I know for sure that I'm gonna do the 30 days with you,
All right, cool. Awesome.
but I think I'm probably just gonna. I mean, that's the thing. That's the cool part about this. Like, you don't. It's not a set in stone thing. Like anything you decide is pretty good. It's just for me. I think I might ride it through March. Just because I know after the 30 days it'll be mid March, and I think it'd be real cool just to do like a something again that I never did. It was like the first run through was I didn't feel like I was done yet. You know what I mean? And I feel like that means I didn't feel like I went long enough. And I know I was having a blast. I wasn't tired of it. I was feeling really good. And I feel like, I could probably do up to 60 days of this. I'm not going to say I'm going to do that, but I'm for sure going to do more than 30.
All right, awesome. I may follow. We'll see.
Yeah, again, we'll see. Yeah, I went off script. I said I was gonna do all the oranges, and then I didn't feel too good, and I had a dragon fruit, and I had a couple dragon fruits, and then I had some grapes that one day beforehand. Like, you know what I mean? And everything was cool. It wasn't like I wasn't beating myself up for it. Like, oh, bro, you said like I think about it like this. Like in the past, my addictions were so bad that, or not addictions, but your food tendencies. Like just things that your relationship with food, even if you're the healthiest people, it's never gonna be that good, or as good as it could be. So I would be super healthy, and then I'd go on these crazy binges usually after drinking. I would just, go on these ridiculously wild binges and, just gain all this excess weight and feel bad for 2 days. And I never understood why, but I really realized it was just, my relationship with food was out of whack. And I never got that until I went away from it completely. Like it was just like all these things were making me I was fighting the craving so much all the time. And then when I had the cravings, I was like, wait, this doesn't feel good. And then so now in saying that, like I used to beat myself up day after day for doing that stuff. And now I'm like, oh, I guess I had grapes. like you know what I mean? It's just to the or like even if I want like a salad or cooked vegetables one time, that's cooked vegetables. You know what I mean? Like it's night and day. It's not even a comparison, and I don't even think about these things. Like, and if I do, I'm like, that doesn't even look good. It doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? Like it's like my body will not the senses will not allow me to think it's palatable anymore. And I think that's what I wish people could experience it because I feel like that's a natural thing. Like I don't know about you, but do you like desserts or did you like desserts a lot?
Yeah, I used to. Yes.
Right. So my big thing was always my sweet tooth. Like I was never like a candy junkie. Like I like maybe like gummy candies and stuff, but I was always like baked goods and like
Cheesecake.
baked desserts. Like I'm a like yeah. A lot of people like ice cream and shit. I love cake, like cakes, muffins, cupcakes, bread, whatever stuff has like bread and chocolate or icing or whatever the heck. So but with when I started eating a lot of fruit, what I realized is people's palates are just all messed up. Like this is natural sweetness, you know what I mean? Like this is a palatable sweetness that is naturally good to the human, taste bud. And when taste buds get desensitized, right, and overstimulated from all this artificial stuff, you like fruit doesn't taste as good to people. And I think that's just a big thing that's like, that's food's not supposed to make you not like other food. You know what I mean? Like food should make you not like drugs. You know what I mean? Like it's drugs. And it's sad because they don't lie to you about what they put in a lot of stuff. But people are just not willing or just kind of bat their eye at don't bat an eye at, really figuring out what it is. And it's just a thing like, oh, I read the back, but did you understand the back? Like you might understand like no matter how many calories is in it, like it's still got blank, blank, blank in here that causes all these things that might not hit you till you're 40 or 50. But then once you have your 40 or 50, you're paying for all this extra garbage and you're taking medicines that don't really do anything except prolong the inevitable stuff. Like, and it's just a loop and a vicious cycle that I don't want any part of. And back to what you said about being 25 in this, is that I wish my only hope could be that more young people do this stuff. Maybe not to my extent, but like just get on the path of getting away from man-made stuff because it's very sad to break away. And part of the reason about being young is like people would ask me, or even close people to me, like my closest friends, they're fine. We're friends not because of food. Like if people are close because of food and you have relationships just because of food, that's like having relationships just because y'all go out and have a drink. You know what I mean? Like people always say, like when you stop drinking, you lose all your friends you used to drink with. You know what I mean? I guarantee you people will acknowledge that. And I feel like it's the same thing. Like once you stop eating conventional what people eat all the time, going out to restaurants, you will lose a lot of people because that's what people do. You know what I mean? Whenever you go hang out, you're probably eating. You know what I mean? How often do you just go to somebody's house and just don't have any food? Like, you know what I mean? You don't share a thing or like, you know what I mean? You just go to be with them, like genuinely just because you love them so much. You just want to hang out. It doesn't happen a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Without something to not distract, but like you have that in common. So it makes it easy. So when that goes out the way, I'm talking about relationships in your family, relationships, dating, like traditions, like you were talking about, of food. All that goes away, and now you're like alone. I don't feel necessarily alone, but I just feel like it's sad because a lot of people are just, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. It's just a sense of happiness that you only would wish other people to have. So when I meet people like you or the people that's in the groups, like you know what I mean, that get it, that live this way, it's amazing because it's like bring it on, like come do this with me, like the love that just comes out of us is unlike any love from people I've known my whole life, and it can't be a coincidence. I'm sorry, it can't. And I love that I'm 25 in this because I don't want to get it later. I wish I did it earlier. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna miss. I That's the other thing too. I have had how many restaurants have I been to? How many drinks have I had? Like I don't. I've been there. Like I haven't been to the best restaurants in the world. I had the most expensive garbage. You know what I mean? But like I don't need to. Like I've had those experiences and I'm okay. Like I'm not gonna miss that stuff. I have memories that are fun. I remember what pizza tastes like. You know what I mean? Like it's not, but I'm okay. Like I found something that is more beneficial that I thoroughly enjoy. That brings out the best in me and other people that I've been around. And I wouldn't trade that for the whole world. And I just wish more people would do themselves that honor of re- releasing themselves. And I have this thing, right? When I was like probably almost a year ago, I started writing in the journal, right? And it was when I was, still kind of down and not really on my stuff yet. I was doing better, but I was still in a really big emotional roller coaster a lot of days and not really knowing who I was yet. And I was listening to this interview of a guy named G. Bryant. I don't know if you know who that is, but he said something that really stuck with me, and I still say that to this day every time I kind of do something unlike how I want to be, or they always say, be the energy you wish to attract, right? So when you don't show up every day how you want to for your lifestyle, and you go away from yourself. Like if I ever like get unnecessarily angry or I outburst or something, I say a prayer to shed that is not myself. And that was the first day, and that's what I wrote down. I was like, Lord, please let me shed that, or help me to shed that is not myself. And I've gotten to the point where I have done that, like I want to say to like 80%. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's always room, to get better and grow every day. But I have just been, every day I feel like I'm just tearing off pieces of me that don't serve me anymore. And it's just making me more of who I am as a pure being. And I love it. And I just wish everyone could do that.
Well, listening to you certainly is absolutely inspiring, and your joy for fruit is completely contagious. I love it. And I love something that you said too. Everything that you're saying is brilliant. And something that you said the other day too, that it's a joy, it's a pleasure. A lot of us come to this path and we feel like the struggle. It's like, oh, this is hard. And I've certainly been there, in that energy of like, oh my God, everything I'm letting go of. And I'm just talking as like a food addict, a recovering food addict, and a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. But it's like that saying, right? It's like your new life is going to cost you your old one. Like it's going to cost you that, but the benefits are so great. Yes, there's a letting go process, but once you like switch it to this is so much fun, this is so pleasurable, so many benefits come to me, like so like your whole life starts to transform, and that's really what keeps us on the path, right? Is that like there's miracles that start to happen. We feel deeper connection to God, deeper connection to self. Just absolute magic starts happening in our lives, right? So it's like, why would I go back there? And I've certainly gone back to, those foods over and over again over the years. Like I'm a bit more stubborn than you, it seems. You've surrendered yourself very fast, even though I knew the truth. I was like, no, I will make this work for me, damn it. I will have the odd pizza and the this and the that, until I was like, you know what? This doesn't work. Just like smoking, just like alcohol, some of us get it quicker than others, and some of us take a lot longer. And that's okay too. Like everybody's journey is so different and so unique. But since I've met you and Bobby, and I've seen like the energy that you all carry, like it's helped me to through this whole experience and not make it such a struggle. It's like, Aline, why are you struggling? Like, where's that internal battle coming from? Like, just let go. Like, let
Yeah.
go. Let
Like,
go. That's not
if
serving
it stresses
you.
you out so much, like forget about it,
Just
It's
let
just
it go. And also, I wanted to touch on something too, because like you were saying how you were having these binges and you were feeling terrible about yourself. I'm just curious, like, were people worried about you then, or was it just like normal and they weren't really questioning your habits when you were eating, animal products and gaining all this weight and feeling not so good about yourself? Were they concerned about you?
see, I think this is the whole point. Like it's like no.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I say this to one of my best friends. We I don't like talking on the phone. Like this is fun. But the reason I don't like talking on the phone before this is because like people talk about bullshit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like how often is it that when you talk on the phone, it's just some extra bullshit that people don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. What I mean to say is, I tell this to my best friend all the time, and we talk about it day after day. When you have a group of people that are doing the same thing as you don't feel the need to do anything about it because it's like you all are just choosing to do it together. Like you know what I mean? Like if you're the only person in the room taking shots by yourself versus you're taking shots with 10 other people in the room and everyone's doing it with you, having a good time. You know what I mean? You're gonna take shots. You know what I mean? But you ever take shots by yourself? You know what I mean? The first couple probably fun, but then it gets kind of depressing. You know what I mean? And like, and I say that to say like you can't hide from yourself, right? You spend enough time alone you cannot hide yourself. Like, you know what I mean? The other thing that you said about the energy, you can't fake this energy. I believe you can never fake any energy though. Like, you know what I mean? You can put on a face or a mask or something, but you can never lie to yourself. You know what I mean? You can never ever ever lie to you. You can, but your feeling will always show itself for what it is. So I think the main thing is people have to understand that other people make it okay to do bad shit. You know what I mean? To feed the things that don't serve you is so much easier when other people don't or are doing the same thing. And everyone on the planet does the same thing. We are the 0.0001%, as you know, shout out Kevin Moan, like he has that shirt. Only zero, literally, how many people that do this know somebody personally that they can go face to face that do this? Like we have, like you said, we all have online friends. Like all this stuff is online. I don't know a person in my vicinity ever who would think I'm sane. You know what I'm saying? Like even back then, like if you told me this a year or two ago, bro, you're gonna eat this big bowl every day for damn near 2 months almost. I'd be like, you're on crack. You know what I mean? You're crazy. Um, but yeah, it's just when everyone's doing something, it becomes okay. And it's just crazy. It's nobody is ever worried when you're doing it together. And then it's the second, that's the other thing too. When you live like this, it's also fear of the unknown that makes people act out. So fear of the unknown is a crazy, rabbit hole, because you could say that about everything. Like the unknown is scary, and that's why people are so hesitant to change. But you have to, along with the other thing I said about shedding yourself, and carving out who you really are as a person, you have to let go. And the other prayer I used to say is, if I could conquer all of my fears, who would I end up being? Like I would just tell myself that all the time, and I just said, "Well, do it then. Conquer all your fears. What are you afraid of?" I am. You know what? And my answer was, I'm afraid of staying the same. Like I'm afraid of being in pain. I'm afraid of never seeing what's on the other side, what's possible. And it doesn't take that long. Like I blink and I'm here. It's how life feels. We're gonna blink and it's gonna be a year from now. That's how life feels. You know what I mean? Like I remember on one of Bobby's last podcasts, they were talking about like, what year did you graduate high school? Like, don't you feel like that was just a blink ago? And he was like, yeah, or like he's almost 2 years from being, down bad, and that probably is a blink to him too, but it was 2 years, and every day feels so long when you're changing. But in the grand scheme of things, it's so worth it to come out and see what's waiting for you on the other side when you really just go away and conquer your fears. Like, and that's what makes everybody else's chatter, like, you just become deaf to it, because you literally, like I said, you surrender yourself, but you save yourself. And again, like, this is the whole thing about frequencies. I used to think that was all like a load of just extra bullshit people would just splatter, but it's believable when you really can't fake this stuff. Like you don't get cocky, but you feel higher. You know what I mean? And you can't resonate with a lot of things other people do anymore. And it's a really real thing. And it's really just from putting the right stuff in your body. It's really just that simple. And like, of course, it's not that simple, but it really is. And again, you can't just go into this doing what we're doing. Like a lot of people just can't eat honeydew for extensive periods without going through major healing crises and stuff, you know what I mean? But the point of it is for anybody who might want to, after seeing this, just eat more fruit. Like it took me many, many years of just transition before. Like I was eating a full everything goes diet, 8 years ago. And I stopped eating meat, just stuck on fish. And then I did about 2 years of mostly plant-based, some fish. Barely started incorporating fruit meals last February as my first meal. Like it took all that, and then through the year of 2023, I did every single month through August, I did a fruit fast to start the month. Because I kind of felt like if I can't be grateful every single day to wake up and just eat fruit, then who am I? Like, you know what I mean? People have it so much worse than me. Like, it all stems from gratitude, everything. You know what I mean? I wake up so happy to be able to live my life and have the people I have and just have a body that does what it does for me. And just life in general is beautiful. And and when you aren't grateful, that's when all these things creep up. You know, that's when all these things, you know, eat at your brain and you become a greedy person, you become an envious person. All the things that we are not, like we are nurturing, loving beings. And we have to feed ourselves that nurture as well. Like we have to love what we do for our bodies and minds. And you're not loving your body and your mind if you're drinking, if you're eating meat. And like and if people don't know, it's not necessarily their fault, but once you know, it's your fault. And if you don't do anything. And like it was my fault for years. Like I was guilty of it too. Like I knew better for myself. People will Bobby says this too. People always say in his consultations and stuff, "Oh, I know." Well, if you know, then why are you here? Why am I help? Why do you ask for my help if you know? You know what I mean? So like again, people are gonna be blindly ignorant until they just let go and sacrifice themselves to a higher purpose. And that doesn't necessarily mean fruit, but it just kind of just means loving yourself a little more, like taking care of yourself a little more, and that's it. You know?
Taking steps towards in the right direction is what I'm hearing you say. Like take those
Mhm.
steps towards being your healthiest self, and
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
what you're saying about self-love, because you can't force your way to change. You can only love your way there. So from that self-love comes those healthier habits, right? From that self-love comes all those yeah, those positive shifts that we can make, right? Like people try to lose weight, and I've certainly been there. I've yo-yoed a lot with my weight too, up and down and up and down. And it was always like I was like forcing it and trying so hard, and like now if I see myself, because I have dabbled with like the cooked foods and stuff, over the last few months, and it's like, okay, can I still love myself there? Like, can I still love myself and not be so hard on myself and come back to the fruit from a place of love and compassion for myself, not because like I'm, hating on myself. So I think it's like just a change in like the mental, um, just the mental chatter, right? Just being aware of how we're talking to ourselves makes all the difference, and coming to it with a gentle heart, and understanding that we may take two steps forward and one step back, and then two steps forward and one step back. But everything you're saying is so, so powerful. And I think like it's so important to have these conversations because like I say, like you never know who you are going to help today, like you don't know who needed to hear it from you to have their aha moment. I think of it as like many aha moments, many seeds that are planted, like even coming off of alcohol, like even though we know it's bad, even though we know drugs are bad, it takes many moments to break that addiction. It's not just one thing. It might be like 10 nights of waking up and just like feeling so terrible and like on the bathroom floor throwing up. Like you may need to have a lot of those moments. You may need to have a lot of those days where you can't go to the bathroom. I was chronically constipated with a big belly too. When I started stopped eating meat, I was like, man, this can't be normal. But I kept eating it, until I like really made that connection and just dove in. And then when I had my first week plant-based and I started pooping better, I was like, okay, like here it is. But I had to surrender. I had to try something different for myself because I couldn't continue like that. And we're very blessed. Like I consider myself, I'm 40, but I still feel like I'm pretty young to be like, I started awakening like at 30. This was 10 years ago. So I still feel like I was pretty young when this happened. And everybody thought I was crazy too. I was living in Belize. I was eating pigtail and fried chicken and ribs and like fish and all those things, and they thought I was insane. Like nobody around me was doing this. Zero, zero, zero. So I definitely sparked something there, And I think too, like it's interesting that you say that you don't have any friends around you that are living this lifestyle. Like neither do I. And I think we were placed very strategically throughout the world. Like there's a grid of light workers, and we're here to hold the light, right, in different parts of the world. Like at some point I feel like we will gather in the physical in one area when we've done enough work, each and every one of us energetically, like around us, you know, and we may not even realize the effect that we have, but we're needed exactly where we are. Like I'm in Montreal, Canada, you know, like there's not a lot of people doing this. It's super cold, and I'm like, what am I doing here? But then I remember, like, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. Like God brought me here for a reason, you know, to spread the light, to have my energy, to just like, you know, to be that force. So just never feel like you're in the wrong place. If you are where you are, it's great. And, you know, eventually, I hope, I think, I know we're going to be in the tropics. Sorry, that transferred to like I have a certainty we're going to be living in the tropics, you know, from this lifestyle and the need to grow, the desire to plant our own food. There's like layers to this, right? It's like first we take care of ourselves, our body, we reconnect to nature, and then we're like, well, wait a minute. I need to like, you know, have my own fruit trees because it's super expensive to eat this way, which is fine. Like we're super like we're worth the investment and all that. But at the end of the day, like can we make this more sustainable? Can we maybe surround ourselves with others who are eating this way? Can we maybe have a space where others can come and experience this lifestyle? Like that would be super cool. So I know I come to talk about the community, but I feel like the more we talk about it, the more it's going to manifest and the quicker it's going to manifest. Like, you know, if we had an investor, if we had somebody who was like, hey, I love your dream, I see your vision, like, here's $1 million, you know, like, build it. Like, hey, I got my team ready. So if anybody's watching this and knows people who have money, who have investors, like I got land, you know, we just need like a bit of capital to like get this moving. But once we get that, we could roll like really fast. It doesn't have to be $1 million, you know. Million would be great though. Get like a nice pool, build a couple houses, you know. Um, yeah, I love this dream, and I would absolutely love to create this with all of you. And I think more and more people too, like over the last few years, like you are awakening at this time because it's important for you to do that to bring in the new earth. Like we're ushering in this new earth. Like we're in the age of Aquarius. We are like shifting into more peace, more love, more like higher vibration. Like some kids are being born now and they're like, I am a vegan. Like they're just coming into this world. They're like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to eat that, you know, and they're like little star seed rainbow children, you know, and it's like we need more people to wake up. We need more people because what's happening in the world and the mass population too, there's like equal forces. There's like so many of us awakening, but then there's also so many people like still stuck in ignorance, tearing down the Amazon, tearing down all the trees, like acres and acres every second for animal agriculture, like that stuff worries me, you know, like our planet cannot regenerate so fast. Like we need to take care of our planet, we need to take care of our resources, and the only way that's going to happen is if we each individually, like really quickly too, like more and more of us need to get on board, get online with this, and start like moving towards communities out of the cities. Like yeah, we need healing. Our planet needs healing. Our people need healing. We're in the age of healing. Like there's been so much trauma. All our generations before us have suffered incredible things like famines, wars, and it's still continuing now. But we are the ones that are here to change that, you know, and create the new earth. So new earth starts within us. We were talking about this too, like heaven on earth starts right here, wherever we are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. It's and that's the thing about this the sacrifice. Like you can't you said it just perfectly. You can't expect to spark change or build these communities or, you know, look have these visions that we have if you don't fix yourself. You know, if you don't change, start with you. Like, you know, you always hear people say, you know, you can't love someone until you love yourself. So if you never love yourself, you know, the chain reaction can never start. Like, you know, all these positive things cannot enter your life if you don't do what's right for you first. You know, and it's not selfish, you know, it's what's a big thing that I had to realize was that it's not strong to be stubborn, you know. You have to step away from yourself and lose your ego. Like you have to kill off your ego, step away from yourself and realize I need help or I need to take time to me or figure it out first before I even mess with anybody else's life because I'm not going to do them a service right now. I'm going to give them a false reality of what's happening if I have to, like, you know, just be somebody I'm not, or keep on pushing what I need to do aside. I feel like there's something that I gotta fix, but I haven't fixed it, and I keep doing other stuff, and I'm gonna just set up, this alternate reality that doesn't serve anybody in my life or me, and it's just again, it's just another matrix that you break away from, and a whole new world of possibilities opens up. And I think I'm just part of the cool thing though is like the fact that we can have these conversations. Like we are meeting so many like-minded people who want the same thing, and it's gonna happen because it's impossible that it can't when we just keep this snowball going in the like a positive direction. It's just gonna keep building good momentum, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's amazing.
Definite. So I will say one downfall of this lifestyle is how much we have to pee, and I'm going to have to excuse myself. Do you want to continue, or do you want to end it here? I could just go real quick and come
Yeah,
back.
I'll keep them busy while you go to the bathroom.
I'm like trying to hold it in. I'm like,
No, I mean, yeah,
dancing.
let me talk about the
Okay.
bathroom while you're gone.
All right, go for it. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, thank you all, by the way, for coming, supporting Aline's channel. And, she's a beautiful, beautiful human, such a light in the world, and we need more of that. And y'all keep it going with your support. So thank you so much for coming on and listening to me speak. It's cool. It's my first time really getting on and talking to people. And I hope y'all are taking something from this, whether it's, fruit-based or not, whether it's just love-based or anything. But let me tell you all about this bathroom. So you're gonna have to pee all the time. Like, I want to say all the time, but way more than you're ever used to, and that's okay. Like, I remember I had a family party, not party, but family friends come over for a little gathering, right? And I was getting up to go to the bathroom a lot, and one of the older gentlemen was saying, "Man, you're going to pee a lot. Are your kidneys cool? Like, you're peeing like me, and I'm old." And I said, "Yeah, man, it's because I eat a lot of fruit." And he was telling me, you got to go to the doctor and all this and all this stuff. And I was like, "No, it's just because I'm hydrated. I eat a lot of water content." He wasn't trying to hear all that. But yeah, just if you guys are gonna eat more fruit, just expect to go to the bathroom more. Don't expect to all the time.
Honestly, that's a first. I usually can like hold it in, but I don't know. I've been eating a lot of melon today.
Yeah,
Sorry
dude.
to cut you off. Continue.
Oh, wait. So wait, let me ask you this. No, I was just telling him about the bathroom, but how many are you gonna eat a day, or how much are you planning on eating for people that might be curious? What's your plan with that?
I plan on eating whenever I'm hungry. I cut up three today. I'm on my second one. Yeah, I'm on my second one, so I'm probably gonna have about three, maybe four. I don't know. I don't count. I don't restrict when I'm doing like mono fruit. I'm just gonna have it ready and eat it. I may juice it as well. I like to usually break my fast with a juice in the rising. So I may have a juice like in the rising, but today I've just been eating it. So I don't know. How many do you eat in a day?
Honestly, about the same. Like, the least amount I had was during the whole first 35 days was two, and that was only one time. I usually break my fast with a whole one. Um, and then midday I'll have maybe if I have a smaller honeydew, I'll have that, or I just have half a big one. And I'll save that other half for the next day if it's big enough, or I'll just have another small one. But then at the end of the day, I just fill this bowl up whenever I'm hungry, like you said, and that just happens to be like a melon. So I just do that, 2 to 3 times a day, and honestly, I could probably eat way more. But the other cool part about this lifestyle is, you eat till you're satisfied, right? And you actually feel so satisfied, you eat less. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, or do you know who Dr. Bobby Price is? Okay, so another beautiful person. Y'all go check out his YouTube and stuff. But he lived in Okinawa, Japan, which is a blue zone. I don't know if you've heard about blue zones, but they're the place where the highest concentration of people who live up to 100 years
Oh,
old is.
okay.
And they have about 4 or 5 of those, I think, on the planet. And Okinawa is one of them. And he lived there for a number of years, right? And he learned this phrase from people in Okinawa called hara hachibu, which means eat till 80% capacity. Like, you know what I mean? Eat slow, be present when don't be mindlessly gobbling your food, take in your food, like experience your food, you know what I mean? Food is an experience. And when you eat for pleasure, and you don't eat for the right reasons, that's when you get disgustingly full, or you blink and your meal's gone. It's been 5 minutes, and you just haven't taken a breath even. So the other thing with the fruit diet, specifically all fruit, is like you get to know what your limits are with the different fruits you eat. So there's certain fruits I can eat a certain amount of, and every fruit is different. And I got to the point with the majority of the fruits, excuse me, that I eat, that I know when I'm satisfied, and I know how much I need to stop before I get to the point where I'm overly full. So in saying that, I haven't been like overly full in like 3 months. Meaning, like, I've been every single time I have a meal, I can get up like I haven't had a meal. Like, I can do everything I was doing before the meal. I can walk around. I could exercise if I want. I could move around. I'm not like sitting on the couch or the bed after my meal. I'm like, bah. Like, just tired and fatigued. And I think it's just really important to, people talk about working out, like the mind muscle connection, like being the same with your food, like have a mind connection with your food. When you take a bite of your food, like really think about it, like how it's tasting, like what it's doing for you, like really connect with it, because it's really an experience. Like Yaki Awaken talks about food is like a sexual experience almost. It's sensations, it's pleasure, it's palate, you know what I mean? It's senses, it's smells, it's everything. You're supposed to be eating with your hands, like, you know what I mean? Like you're supposed to touch, you're supposed to prepare your food with love. Like it's all a whole experience that people just get thrown out the window when you eat all this extra stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's not how we're supposed to eat, which is why some people probably aren't as satisfied, which is why people tend to gravitate toward overeating or sweets after a meal because they're not satisfied. You know what I mean? Like desserts, whether that's even fruit after a meal because they never even got what they're supposed to have. And that's why you have that craving still. Like every time I've ever had fruit, I don't crave anything. Like literally a couple of days ago, my mom said, I was watching a movie with her late night, and she was eating popcorn, and that's like her guilty thing, like it's popcorn, and it's like the healthy popcorn, like skinny popcorn, and because we used to be popcorn junkies, and I don't do that anymore, but she eats popcorn late. So she said to me, do you ever get hungry after you're done eating? And I stopped eating after 6. Like I eat my last meal around like 5, and then enjoy it for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I just don't. But no, I told her I never ever get a craving. I never get hungry after I'm done because I'm satisfied for the day. Because I gave my body exactly what it needs in terms of nutrients, hydration, everything. And literally, the best thing I've ever done is this during a certain period of time because it gave me all of those things in the most abundant form. And it's cool. It's dope.
Hmm. What about the emotional component of food? I understand that we satisfy all of our needs with all the amino acids from fruit. I am a firm believer that all we need is fruit, maybe some leafy greens once in a while if we feel the need, like what Lauren Lockman talks about. But 99% fruit or 100% fruit. I don't even think we need the leaves. I think the herbs have definitely their place, when somebody's trying to overcome some chronic issues. Definitely, I believe in the power of the herbs as well. But I'm 100% convinced about fruit being like our species specific diet and what we need to be eating. But what about the emotional component? Do you ever feel like, was there any moment in your feast, in your like fruit feast, that you had those emotions come up, like sadness or anxiety, that just made you want to you know, cave and go for something else, something salty, or did that never happen?
Honestly, I think the cool part about being so young again doing this is that I feel like my detox wasn't as heavy as a lot of what people experience. Like it was definitely something that was there. The first time I actually ever experimented with a full day of fruit, it was fine. I was walking home from work and I was gonna get a haircut, and my barber canceled on me. And he only accepts cash, so I had $60 in cash. And as I was getting home, I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just not gonna get a haircut. But there was a fruit lady outside, the lady who's selling fruit. And I was like, I'm just gonna give her all this. I have a fridge full of food. I had to go grocery shopping anyway. Or sorry, my fridge was empty, so I had to go grocery shopping anyway. So I just literally filled it all the way up and prepped it for like 2 hours that night. And just said, you know what, I'm just gonna eat fruit for like a day because I love fruit. I have a sweet tooth. Like I said, it would probably be fun. I wasn't thinking about. I know what fruitarianism was. It wasn't a frugivore thing. I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat all this fruit. It's gonna be great. First day was amazing. I had melons, I had honeydews and watermelon. I had mangoes and grapes ready and just everything. So and I didn't know how to eat it yet. So I was just like every time I was hungry, I was just getting whichever one. And first day was amazing. Second day, I literally had some watermelon, and I was like maybe 20 minutes post that meal, my hands were tingling, and I started like spitting up a lot of mucus, and I got like a migraine, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then after that spell lifted, I was kind of spooked. Didn't really know what that was. I just thought it was a normal thing because again, the migraines would happen, but the other stuff was a little weird. By the second day, going to bed was hard. Like I felt super weird, and then by the third day, I was like, I needed salt or something. Like I was like, I can't. Like I needed sweet potato, and then afterwards, I felt so weak, like mentally weak. I was like, food has that much power over me. You know what I mean? So it's for sure a thing. Like, but that was a long time ago. Ever since that moment, there's not been a day where I've eaten fruit that I felt anything but happy. Like fruit doesn't bring out all the negatives. Fruit brings out all the joys for me. It's kind of the opposite. Like I'll eat fruit and I'll just start laughing. Like I'll start smiling and be like, "This is real life." You know what I mean? Because it's so good to me. This is like dessert for me. It kind of like it's the sweet tooth sense of relief and relaxation that somebody who's been craving ice cream and they haven't been able to do that for themselves in so long because they're trying to be healthy or something, and they finally take like the first scoop of ice cream and they're like, and their eyes roll back in their head. They're like, oh my god, sorry, but but I just say that to say food is very emotional. Like food, this ties back into family too. Like food is at the root of tradition, so it holds so much weight in people because it's what you grow up on, it's what your mom makes for you that you remember as a kid. It's memories with your friends and family. It's so much more than just what the food is, because it's connected to all these beautiful things of life, you know. But when you break away from that, you realize how crazy the tradition is, and it's really mostly based around food. People usually say like, "Oh man, I don't want to go see my in-laws, but they make good food, so I'm excited for that." And that's probably what they think on like not to say everybody's shallow like that, but subconsciously a lot of people don't want to do that sometimes, and they go because there's food. I mean, how many times would you invite somebody over and be like, "You want to just come hang out?" Like I said before, like I'm not inviting you over for dinner. We're just gonna kick it, and it's 6 p.m. So figure it out. You know what I mean? Like people don't do that. It's always a very heavy emotional, traditional impact with food. And when you break away from that, like we were talking about earlier, you know, um, I feel like that stuff goes out the way. And, I literally will ask people this too that are just starting. Somebody in the Fruit Up group was talking about that to somebody. They were like, "You're eating all fruit?" Like, and they said, "Yeah, I mean, just the second day I was eating a mango." And she said, I started busting out laughing. And I was like, "Yeah, because you're just happy. Like, it feels good. It's the coolest thing because I can eat a giant bowl of something for the first time in my life and not feel gross. And I think that's the coolest food experience ever. And so I literally will sit here with this melon sometimes in my room. I got music on and I'm just laughing, I'm just smiling. Like I'm so happy all the time. And
Well,
so I feel
yeah, I don't know if I would have been so motivated to do this if it wasn't for your enthusiasm.
and that's the thing though, like I appreciate you so much for doing it. Because again, like I won't say it gets lonely. And my attachment with people isn't the food, it's the interactions that I have with them. But at the same time, it does feel very good to have somebody do it with you. And that's why I can't say that food emotion doesn't exist for me still, because I get a lot of joy from someone else doing it with me, which is why I don't think anybody's crazy for saying, like, oh, yeah, it's hard to get off of these things because we're addicted to them. Like, I mean, you're addicted to the high of experiencing food with people. Like, it's fun. That's why people do it for like dates and weddings. And it's fun to experience pleasurable sensations of a palate with people. Like, don't get me wrong, I used to love to cook. Like I used to cook every day for myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like for years. And I think I thought cooking was fun. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of joy that stems from everything around food. You know what I mean? It's the one time of day in people's stressful and busy lives where you can take away and step aside and really just do something nice for yourself, you know? And a lot of times people think like, what, you're gonna only eat fruit? You're not gonna enjoy life? Like people have said that to me before. Like you're gonna do that to yourself? Like you don't want anything? Like you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah. It's not for everybody to get, honestly. I'm at the point now where I'm like, dude, people can ask me all the questions they want, and I'll receive them the information. But you do what you do. Like if it'll come to you in your time if you want it to, and if not, it won't. But I'm not. I'm here to. The way I want to help people is by being an example, like I was saying. And if people reach out to me, I would more than happy to help. I want to help as many people as I can. But I'm never going to say that what someone else is doing is wrong because that's their life. And their emotions are their emotions, and what they do with what they do is how they're going to do it. But it's just that you have to experience it for yourself. You have to. And it's all emotional. I mean, life is emotional. But and this is the last thing I'll say on this topic, but back to like my grandmother, right? That's hard, you know. But the thing about the fruits, and we even touched on this before, when you do this, it makes all things in life, as intense or serious as they may be, so much easier to handle. Like when that happened, of course I was sad, devastated, you know what I mean? And I still am to this day, but it was honestly like maybe a minute of that. And then I was overcome with emotions of she's no longer in pain, she's at peace. All of the moments of my life that I had with her don't change just because of the bad few months that it ended with. You know what I mean? She might have been experiencing pain and discomfort for this little bit of time, but one bad, I used the fruit analogy, one bad grape doesn't ruin a bunch of grapes. You know what I mean? Like a couple of bad days doesn't ruin, or a couple of bad moments doesn't ruin your day. It doesn't make it a bad day. You know what I mean? There's bad moments, not bad days. And there could be bad days, but you didn't have a bad life. You know what I mean? You're not having a bad experience. But I just say that to say it makes it so much easier to go through life and handle anything that has to throw at you when you just literally eat fruit. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna be blunt with it. Like, it just opens up all these emotions of abundance and happiness and peacefulness that those emotions don't even come into my head anymore. Like I don't remember the last time I had a sad emotion, like a really really sad emotion. Like I've had bad little blips of the day, whatever maybe, but there's never been. I don't remember the last time I had a real bad day, and I mean that. Even the day that she died was a day more of me thinking it was celebration of her life. Let me be happy. She died on the winter solstice, which is the symbolism, not symbolism, but the actual marking of the change of the sun becoming, it'll be lighter longer. You know what I mean? The days will stop being short, and it's a new rebirth in the cycle. Like I thought that was beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? It's so many ways you can think of things, even when they're sad, because you know the law of polarity literally states as one thing is this, another thing is always this. You know what I mean? So if there's always a bad side to something, there's always a good thing that comes of it. You know what I mean? There's always a bright side to look on. There's always a beautiful light that you just have to unblind yourself. Like you have to see it. You know, you can't choose to be stuck on the dark side of these things. That's it.
The fruit bring you to your light and to being
Yeah.
more positive, right? To like having a more positive mindset. And I wanted to give a special shout out too because we were talking about being lonely on this path, and I wanted to shout out to like your reinforcement. We got King Bruce doing this with us today, and King Carlos was doing it, and also Curtis. Love. Um, I believe Carlos is doing it. If not, you're doing it now, Carlos.
Yeah,
I know
shout out the
people
family,
said
Carlos, Curtis, Bruce.
yes. So thank you so much for jumping on board. Please share your pictures in the group. It really does help to have friends doing this with you because we are. Oh, you're not doing it well.
Oh no.
Sorry. I'm manifesting it for you. All right. Well, I've been loving seeing all your lives too in the group. It's been so good to get to know each other too. It's like it's one thing making comments and commenting on each other's pictures and messaging each other, but then like when you see each other live, like I actually feel like I know you. I actually feel like I, know the people that have been going live. Queen Jadica, I saw you coming in, love. Thank you so much for your courage. And she literally sparked a flame in the group. She's the one that was like, "Hey, I'm nominating you." Like paying it forward. Like, okay, who's next? And she's such a natural leader that
Yeah.
it's just so amazing to see everybody sparking up. This flame that's coming alive in each and every one of us from the fruit. It's coming from this lifestyle. We're like, oh, here I am. Like, where have I been? It's like, where have I been? That's how my feeling was like, where have I been? There I am. I
Yeah.
got lost. I was dazed and confused and not connected. Like, it's like a remember it. It's not even like you become something else. Like, you just become who you are. And I remember feeling so afraid coming off of alcohol and drugs, being like, who am I going to be? Like, am I going to be so boring? Like, I'm the life of the party. Like, I love to dance. I love to, like, I'm loud and I just like, I love to party. And I'm like, who am I gonna be after this? And and I'm even more fun now. I think so anyway. Like I'm just more real, more like I'm spontaneous. Like it's like my real self has come through, not from this artificial. I'm not boasting. I'm just saying like it's not this artificially enhanced personality that I used to have with the substances. Now it's like my real authentic, fun, bubbly self can come out. And like, it's amazing to see who you truly are come out and allowing yourself to be weird, to be quirky, to be like everything that you truly are. So the fruit definitely bring out the realness inside of you and connect it to real people too who appreciate you for who you are. We're like, I always call us like the unicorns of our family. Like we're not the black sheep, we're the magical, we got the rainbow following us. Like we're the
People are like, what the hell is that?
exactly. We're the misfits, the rebels, the
Yeah.
ones that don't quite feel like we fit in. So when we find each other, we're like, oh my God, my soul family. Like I actually feel like I belong for the first time in my life with you all. And it's a beautiful thing. And I hope to create this space and the safety for others who want to come and share, the community. Like it's just changed my life so much to have friends that are doing this, that are juice cleansing, and then seeing others too. Like when I started juicing, like people got inspired by my journey. So you never know who you're going to inspire to do a mono fruit feast, to start fruiting up, to change their life, go plant based. Like that's what it's all about. So thank you all so much for leveling up with us and for being your most authentic self. And Bobby Smith, like look at everything that Bobby's accomplished in 2 years. Like he used to be drinking 2 years ago and look at everything he's doing. Look at all the interviews, the communities. the challenges, like he's changing lives. And I'm so amazed. And even a year ago when I met him, he came online, and I was one of the first people that he met online in the online space. He hadn't been online. And we did interviews in the royal gatherings in our community, and he wasn't as confident and as he is today. He took on a lot of confidence, belief in himself. And so that grows too. Me too. Like I was like super shy at the beginning. I'm just starting to feel confident. So, be patient with yourself. And, Matthew, like if this is just your first interview, like I can't even imagine how you're going to be speaking in, 20, 50, 100 interviews. Like you are a natural leader, speaker, um, influencer, motivator. So keep it up and keep sharing your journey, keep sharing those pictures. Like I was watching the post that you did today, and you were like, I called for reinforcement, and it was just like this warrior spirit that came through. I saw, and I was like, whoa, like yeah, we're with you. Like we're all here. We're like a little army of love, an army of like fruity love. And we're just here to
Yeah.
spread the vibration throughout the world. And yeah, and it's just a beautiful thing to be part of. And this also helps me to stay accountable too, to like do these interviews and be part of the community. I'm like, I need to stay on this frequency, and when I come back down, I start to isolate myself. Like even the cooked food, it has the same effect as the cannabis used to have on me personally, like um I go back into my shell, I go back into my little world, I retreat, I don't feel so good, I don't look so good, I just like want to be left alone, and I go back into like my little introvert weird self. But I'm like, no, like I keep hearing that voice, like come out, come back, people need you, people need to see you. And I went months without going without doing interviews, and I'm just kind of getting back into it, and it feels so good. Like I go to sleep at night and I'm like, okay, like thank you God for helping me to do what you need me to do. Like it's not even about me, I'm just like the vehicle to have others come and share their miracle of life and inspire others. So you are absolutely a miracle of life. And like God is amazing, and we are co-creators with him. We can't just expect him to do everything for us. Like we have to take those steps, and then he continues to bless us. He shows us the way. He's showing us the way. If you're here watching today, like God brought you here, and whatever you want to call him, like we all have our own source, whichever word feels good to you, but like you've been divinely guided. And just trust that the more you lean into this, like the more things will come your way. Just like Matthew talks about, like his whole mental health improved, his physical health improved, like he's making new friends, like just everything started getting so much better. And I feel like the doors are just starting to open up for all of us in terms of what's possible. I feel particularly the last year, things have been like accelerating faster and faster. So don't be surprised if we start announcing that we have a little space available very soon for you all to come and juice cleanse and fruit feast and water fast. Like it's happening. And I say this, and I said I'll say it again today because I love this. But yeah, when I got the calling to do this community and healing center, I know I said this yesterday, but I'm gonna say it again because it's just so cool, like we could hear God speak to us through these fasts and through these cleanses, and when I got the calling 7 years ago, I was like, how is this going to happen? And like who is going to help me with this? And I heard God, I felt him say, like, you will know them by their fruits. And it was like very clear, and I wrote it in my journal. I was like, you will know them by their fruits. And then one by one, like, and I wasn't really like, I was juicing, but I wasn't really into the fruit lifestyle. So I didn't really have that, like, I wasn't completely turned on to the fruit, but over the last 2 or 3 years, I'm like, oh my God, the fruits. That's what God meant. Like, here they are and they're coming, but like, I had to get on the fruits too in order to like be a magnet for those that are on the fruit as well, and be like, okay, yes, like we have the same vision, we have the same goal, like this is it. So yeah, the fruits, like you will know them by their fruit, and then the fruits of the spirit too, right? In the Bible, like it's just so cool to see us fruiting up. Like this is heaven on earth. This is how the world is going to heal, through the fruit and the plant medicines, and like return to nature.
telling you, nature doesn't want you to die. You know, nature doesn't want you to be sick. Nature wants you to thrive and love. And, you know, when you are one with that, that's what comes into your life, you know? I think I was telling you recently, beautiful everything you just said. And I want to thank you too. You are literally everything you just said. You are a light. You are needed here. You are so beautiful. The way you inspire, and you know, you are an example of what is possible. You know what I mean? You also talk about how you came from like the darkest depths of ups and downs, and you know, even higher or lower spaces than that. You know, just rock bottom, and you are literally, you know, elevating yourself every single day and bringing so many people with you. Like I said about the whole reinforcement thing, like you unwillingly, without saying it, you did that too. You know, like you manifested this upon yourself and to all of us. I was telling Bruce the other day, like I love to go to war with my family every day, like. And in reality, I kind of thought to myself, like, oh, we're not at war, like we're peaceful humans. But then I was like, nah, it is a war every single day because the world is totally against everything we're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said before, we are literally the 0.0001% of people that are doing this. And yeah, it's growing, but I mean, I hear stuff all the time like, you know, the world is never eating more meat than ever, man. You know, and just when you're so far away from the lifestyle, you forget how toxic and messed up the rest of the world is. You know, and that's why it's so important that we stay like steadfast in what we're doing and like with our convictions, you know, like we have to be, you know, so dedicated to this and keep doing it because it's really needed at this time. Like you were saying, like, you know, I feel like the dang earth called upon us, you know what I mean? Like was like, y'all need I'm calling you guys up because this is some bullshit. I'm dying and we gotta fix it. You know, I'm fed up, I'm tired, you know.
Yeah.
But you know that, and that's the cool part too. Like when you give, whether that's to somebody else or yourself, like you don't lose anything from that. Like you don't become poor by giving. Like you give and you receive love back. You know, and it's not for any ill will intent. Like, you know what I mean? Anybody who has anything to say to that is just ignorant and stupid because when you live with love, you receive love. You know what I mean? Love that, and that's why it's the love frequency. You know what I mean? If you're lower than that, you're not going to receive that. You know, it's just so important now of all times because we get it. And we're doing ourselves and the people that look up to us and walk with us a disservice if we don't love them and show love to ourselves. And we have to show up for ourselves every day to do that for the people we care about and want to see do that for them too. So I thank you so much for just all of it because I've only known you for what, a couple weeks, and you know, and we're killing it, family. Like I'm so proud of you and me and everybody that we're doing this with because we're doing it and it's so beautiful to come up and be able to walk with you guys every day into this. It really is.
Amen. Amen. Everything you said is so beautiful, and you are an incredible light for our world. Thank you for being brave enough to shine it, you know, first and foremost onto yourself and then onto all of us. And I know that even this here coming on here is going to open up so many doors for you. And yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody in our community. You know, it's a beautiful thing what we're doing. It's necessary, and you know, keep on rising, keep on sharing, keep on sticking together. And I hope that in April we will see you all again. I'm hosting another challenge with Bobby Smith. It's going to be Raw till 5. So if anybody on here is struggling with this lifestyle, like please come and we will help you. We will support you. It's fruit up till 5, but you could continue fruiting up if you want after 5. But if you want, you know, to learn like the skills and the tools to be whole food, plant based, you know, kind of like what Matthew was talking about, what he did for many years before coming to the all fruit, you know, like letting go of the animal products, of the dairy, you know, it's good to have support. I sure wish I had support. I sure wish I had me and Bobby and you, like when I was transitioning, you know, to learn how to do it right because we don't know sometimes. So definitely come in for support. Reach out to me if you'd like to know some more information. And yeah, 30 days of honeydew melon. I feel super motivated. I needed this call. You know, sometimes I struggle in the evening time, so I'll definitely be reaching out if I am struggling, but I think I'll be okay. And if I absolutely have to have variety, I may have a little cantaloupe. I won't lie. I may keep that door open, but we'll see. You know, as long as I stick to those two, but it'll be like 99%. Honeydew, I really want to give myself this chance to experience this mono fruit feasting. And I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders too. To those who are like, well, isn't that boring? I find eating complicated, you know, like it stresses me out to think like, what am I going to eat next? You know, just like it's just it simplifies things. And now I'm already like working more on my website. I've been like, you know, doing a few things for my work and like really leveling up in so many different ways from this fruit challenge, but like more specifically, even just today with like being on all melons. So focus and energy and so much gratitude for you. If you ever want to come back on, more than welcome. I would love to talk to you some more. Your wealth of knowledge, your wealth of inspiration, especially for being so young. Like you are definitely an awakened soul, and the world needs to hear your beautiful insight and wisdom. So thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who joined us. Do you want to have any last words before we close our circle? Let's have another break.
No, no, yeah, I know for real. But no, on a serious note though, just I want to just show gratitude and show that love because I think I want to first show love to you and everyone that came up to listen because I know for a fact that when I take time away to listen to anybody speak and share out and spread, I know that it adds so much to what I know I want to do in my life, and it adds just so many things that I can build off of and new ideas and new motivations, and I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I had a great time, and I really appreciate you, so thank you. Fruit up, you feel me? Fruit up every dang day.
Fruit up, fruit up.
Mhm.
I'm gonna find some hold on, I have a little corny pun I'm gonna say before we come off. They're not all that great, but yeah, so I'm buzzing with excitement. Honey, do you feel the same?
I do. I do. Indeed, I do.
Such a mom joke.
Uh,
Love a good fruit.
yes, sir.
All right, all my little honeydews. It's so cute too. Like the word is so cute. Like honeydew.
Look, and I
So
love that. The last thing I want to say is the one I love it too because while I was doing this, there was one live that Bobby was doing, right? And he was like, I hate people that think. I need doers around me. And I was like, that's what I do every damn day. So, you know what I mean? It's just a little honeydoers out here, bro, you know? We're really, and that's the thing though, we're really doing it. Like, and that's what I love about it. So keep doing it for everybody out there. Keep doing it.
yeah, we're not
Do it.
triers, we're doers.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it. No excuses.
Mm-mm.
Food up till 5. Reach out if you want to join us. It would be so great to have you. Thank you so much, Matthew. I hope you have a great rest of your day and we will be in touch.
Yes, you too, beautiful.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Bye.